All right, thanks for joining us here today. I'm Marlin Bohling with you, your tour guide to the ag commodities. One of the tour guides. I have another tour guide with me here in studio. We have Chris Swift with me, right beside me here, and he is with Swift Trading. He's based in Nashville. Also, part-time sit-in host. Thanks for helping me out last week.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Absolutely.
Yeah, you did a great job, so thanks for doing that. And now you broke the ice.
Yeah.
You know how it all works.
Well, and I tell you, I did find out that as much as respect as I had for y'all, it's the guys upstairs that really make y'all look good. So
yeah.
Those people up there are phenomenal.
Have to treat everybody right, don't
absolutely. You know what you might get spooked in your ears.
They can make you look real bad,
yes.
too. Yeah. And don't have to work very hard at it in my case. Let's take a look at what's going on with our markets. Let me bring up the corn board here. And we'll start with our corn quotes provided by Bar Chart. Here we go. This is kind of weird, Chris. Look at this. You have the May contract a half higher. The July is where most of your action is, right? On the nearbys?
Yes.
That's down just 3/4 of a cent at 5.84 1/4. However, right next to it, September is down 7 3/4. And December down 6 1/2 at 5.21 1/4. That's kind of an abrupt spread right there. What's with that?
Well, it's old crop, new crop, and we got some really good planting weather coming in. So the September contract, interesting, usually holds a little bit of a premium to the December contract. And if you can get corn out early enough to deliver against that September contract, but clearly seeing that right now, we're not seeing any premiums in the September.
I was talking earlier about the forecast for freezing temperatures in Nebraska. That didn't seem to spook the market at all.
I don't think it's the last of them. I mean, even if it does freeze, it's not like there's going to be a series of them.
So they must not think there's enough growth on the corn to bother. I know corn is usually safe till it gets about 5 inches tall,
right?
I think. So anyway, that's the name of that tune. Okay, let's take a look at our soybean trade. What's going on there this morning? Narrowly mixed right now. Now, overnight it was, 2 to 4 higher, something like that. Right now you have July soybeans 3/4 higher at 14.20, and you have November new crop soybeans unchanged at 12.63 1/2. So that one's kind of stuck in the mud. Let's see what's going on in wheat. In Chicago wheat right now, July is down 12, Chris, at 6.21 3/4 after a high last night of 6.35 1/4. My goodness, we're off of that by 24 cents. We're down 12 as it stands right now. And if you look at Kansas City wheat on July, we're down 13 3/4 at 7.62 1/2. So that would be 14 cents off of its overnight high. A lot of pressure, double-digit losses in both of those exchanges. Let's check out the Minneapolis wheat. In July, we're down 8 1/4 at 7.95 1/2. So lots of pressure in the entire wheat complex this morning. Cotton, July is down 58 points at 80.22, and December down 63 at 80.47. Well, about the only thing showing anything positive is soybeans.
You bet.
Why soybeans? Why are they holding up?
You know, I'm really not sure, because we know that planting's going to be probably as good for there, and we've seen Brazil come into the market last week and export some more beans to China. I'm not real sure. I think still most interesting is the wheat market, and probably some of the relaxation in the Black Sea region, Crimea area, all that, not as much going on there is probably giving the wheat some ability to move around the world.
So last I had heard, Russia is pretty definitive that they do not want to allow shipping out of there after like May 18th.
Right.
Something like that. I don't think they have budged on that. If that's the case, you would think that would be supportive to the wheat, and it doesn't seem to have any impact whatever.
Yeah, and we went through this last week with the planting in the drought all year long, and then freezing it. So there's apparently enough world wheat out there where the market is not as concerned with it as what it was. And I guess, you know, those negotiations come and go pretty quick. So I don't know that anybody's going to make plans for that negotiation 2 weeks out, and naturally they'll probably fall through whatever they are.
All right. Well, we'll pause right here, and then Chris will bring you back, and we'll talk about the critter markets here in just a little bit. We'll sort out the cattle and hog trade right after this. All right. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Marlin Bohling, joined by Chris Swift of Swift Trading in Nashville. Let's change our sights right now, and let's go take a look at our livestock trade. Our quotes are provided by Bar Chart, and live cattle on that June contract are 92 lower today at 164.55. August down 105 at 162.72. Let's look at feeders here. On the feeder cattle trade, you have the August contract, 92 lower at 229.80, still at lofty levels. September down 80 cents at 233. Well, let's check out lean hogs, see if they can say anything different here. No, my goodness, they knocked the pins out from under the June contract. We're down 227. We're at 89.42, and July down 220 at 91.37. Now it's down 230 on the day. Pretty close to the lows of the day, within 10 or 15 cents, pretty much across the board there. So, Chris, let's talk first about this cattle market here. When you left Friday, what did you do? Why are they so much weaker this morning? And I saw the cash rate came down to, what, $2?
It is. I think it's a series of events. I mean, if you think about it, all through April, we rose hard in every category, weight category of cattle that there were. Boxes were higher, so more likely than not, as we go into the grilling season, all of those higher prices that we see on the wholesale level gets pushed into the retail level, and unfortunately, that's right about now. So I think maybe we look at it and then the consumer gets a taste of this, pulls back a little bit. And two, we also see a lot of the grocery stores, the packers and all, they are working diligently to try to keep enough product on the store shelf so it doesn't get any kind of mad rush to it, or that they keep enough on there and they can let it sit for a little while. There's no big backlog of beef to have to push out and behind it. So instead of lowering prices and pushing a big volume out, they keep the prices raised, elevated up there to it, and then now it's not as many people can afford it, and it keeps it at actually a little bit more stable price.
Now, we recently had the cold storage report, and it seemed pretty positive for the beef supplies, but boy, the pork.
Yeah.
The inventories increased a lot from a year ago. Is that still pressuring the pork trade?
I think so. That and weights. We know carcass weights are still up, and we saw a pretty good rally last week in the futures market. But we didn't see any kind of movement in the cash markets, and so I think that's the reason why they're down today. Is you had no follow through from the cash market to help diverge that basis or converge that basis a little bit narrower.
Interesting stuff. Well, thanks for pointing it out.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming in, as always.
Yes,
and again,
sir.
thanks for filling in for me last
Always
week.
a pleasure.
All right, I'll hold you to that.
Okay.
I appreciate that. Chris Swift of Swift Trading in Nashville with us here on set. Tammy, with that, I will turn it back to you.